Sophie, this is going to be your first lesson. Now, at the first lesson, we want to take a look at the violin, and the first thing we want to give you is a high dot. So I'm going to take my tape and my scissors, and we're going to make you a high dot, which actually looks more like a line, but we'll just say it's a dot. And we're going to place this high dot in the middle of our string length. And this is going to mark our halfway point on our string length. So from the very first lesson, you already know how your string is divided into two equal pieces. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to give you a first finger line so that you know where your first finger goes when we go to put your fingers down, which we're not going to do exactly yet in the first lesson. We'll wait a few lessons to do that. And we're going to give you a third finger line. Now, when I'm teaching a very, very young child, I might think about giving them also a second finger line. But for now, we're just going to do a first finger line. And a third finger line. And the reason I do that is because our second finger will then learn that it will either live next to its third finger or next to the first finger. And there we have our lines. The next thing that we're going to learn are the parts of the violin. So let's go through all of these things and let's see what we have. So the first thing we have is a what?
Body.
A body. The whole thing is a body, and this we're going to call the top. Can you say top?
Top.
Top. And then this, because that's the top, this is going to be the
Bottom.
The back. The back of the violin. And these, just like on a person, these are the what? That we have right here.
I don't really know.
Those are called the ribs. Can you say ribs?
Rib.
Ribs. And then this is the what here?
Bridge.
The bridge and the...
Chinrest.
It's a chinrest, but we're going to name this, not chinrest, we're going to rename it the jaw rest because we're going to see that our jaw is going to live in this rest here. And this is the what?
Tailpiece.
And these are what?
F-holes.
And this is the what?
Fingerboard.
Fingerboard, which is made out of ebony, which is the hardest wood that we can find in the entire world. And this is what? These are
Pegs.
what? Pegs. And they live in the peg
Box.
and on top we have
Scroll.
the scroll or the head. We can even call it a head. And here we have the end button. And if we look inside the violin, have you ever looked inside your violin? Let's look inside now. And what do you see there?
Writing.
You see writing, good. And we see a little post, which is called the sound post. And that is where the sound travels through the bridge to the sound post and then out the F-hole so that we're going to get a beautiful tone. What we're going to look at also is what we have on the back of our violin. I prefer to use sponges for young kids because that will keep the violin from slipping. What we want to be aware of is the chin rest that we're using because some chin rests are more comfortable than others, and we always want to find the chin rest, or as we call it, the jaw rest, that is going to be most comfortable for each individual student.